Alright, we're looking at Dungeon today. Found this on TIG Source, which is an indie game forum and site. And this is a very interesting kind of game in a very different kind of way.
Definite Commodore 64 flashbacks.
Yeah.
Angie, you'll be happy to see that we're back to having titles on the rooms again.
Oh, yes. I see that.
Bloody dagger.
It's very dramatic, all of it.
Now, everything red kills you. Well, most red things kill you.
Including sperm jumping out of water.
Right.
Is the jump kind of tricky? It seems like you're falling into pits a lot.
Looks
Yeah.
a little stiff.
The jump is not consistent. You go further depending on how your phantom blocks there. You go further depending on if you're running or not beforehand, but you can also get different trajectories depending on how you move it after you hit the jump.
Oh, this is a room that repeats?
No, just
Oh,
the
it's
same
just
layout
two-
with two ghosts instead of one.
Okay.
Yeah, here's where the jump's working against me.
It's interesting that it's like a Super Mario Brothers dungeon design, but yet in Commodore 64 style.
You don't see too many retro-style indie games that go this primitive with the pixel art. I like this when it's done right. This is a neat little thing with the story right there.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I like the story that it's telling in the text.
That was me speeding it up there because I waited way too long for it to be interesting.
It sounds like he's like toying you with you there on that title.
Yeah, that comes into play later.
So far, the game looks relatively straightforward for this type of thing.
Yeah, it is. It's run and jump.
I mean,
Don't hit the spikes, don't hit the red things.
I can see why you might die, but it doesn't seem nearly as bad as some of the games that you've been showing us.
It's funny you say that right now, because this room and the next one were the hardest for me. A lot of attempts, as you're about to see. Yep. Fortunately, that checkpoint comes right here, so I didn't have to go through that one. Yeah, for this video, I cut out a bunch of deaths in this room. Just left 3, so you could get an idea of what the challenge was. And back to the story. Well, as it were. We're getting very near the end already.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah. I feel like I already missed a lot of the story, like I wasn't reading enough, and now I'm probably just not.
We can start over if you want.
It won't take us long.
No, we really don't have to. Just like sum it up for me.
What I could gather from it, it's about a guy. He finds out the king's been killed, and so he goes after them, and then he figures out, wait a minute, I'm the guy who killed the king, so he kills himself.
How would he not know that he was the guy that?
Because he's gone mad with bloodlust or with guilt, or both, or something else.
That he picked a very common, obvious trope.
Oh man, you're a tough crowd.
I am.
I think you're thinking about it a little too deep.
Okay.
The point of this game has nothing to do with what I've actually just played, or even this ending screen here. Let the nice ending song play a little bit more. There's this whole presentation. Yes, there's another file called clarity.exe. So we open that, and we get this.
This does not look clarifying.
ZZZK, that's the name of my computer. That's
Oh.
the computer name that I use, yeah. I have a feeling that this probably doesn't make any sense yet to you.
I'm really.
So this is like
confused now.
bonus features type stuff, or
In a sense. The next screen explains it in the form of an equation.
So wait, do you get a different game depending on what's on your computer?
You got it. And after we close Clarity, the next minute of the video is just an explanation that I put up about what the equation means, because I know not everybody's into programming. And since a lot of people are going to watch the no commentary version, I figured that was probably an important thing to do. So yeah, here we go. The best part of any YouTube video is reading text.
I am riveted.
The test will have multiple choice and an essay section. Make sure that you're using a number 2 pencil. Make your marks heavy and dark. Use the back of the sheet for the essay question if you run out of room. And the test begins when I say begin.
This is really heady for a game that was about literally just a few minutes long.
Right, 3 minutes or so.
Well, this is a designer after your own heart.
Isn't it? I had already read about the whole point of the game prior to downloading it and playing it, and so yeah, I was very disappointed whenever I realized that the effect that I got from my computer was that it just swapped 2 room titles.
So, but it could affect the story, I guess, if you're switching the room
Not
names.
even that. So using the debug mode, I went back and played through the game and showed off all 14 of the effects that you could possibly get. And this one's pretty straightforward. There's no way you're gonna make that jump. That's at the beginning of the game.
And you did die the first time.
I did, just
Same
because I
okay.
kept running. I didn't try to jump.
Oh, okay.
The next one affects the game in the most legitimately challenging kind of way. That gets really problematic when you get to the bat rooms and stuff.
Yeah.
The enemies that fast. I don't know if it makes anything impossible, though. Unlike this one. Yeah, this is ridiculous. I couldn't even get over the crates. And yet, as bad as this is, it's still not the most annoying effect. I think that one's 8 effects from now. Though it is still pretty annoying, even just to watch it.
Wait, there were checkpoints?
Yeah, every 3 rooms, you get a checkpoint. I'm imagining your first time playing this game if you have this effect. You're probably thinking, wow, he went all the way with that retro sensibility, didn't he? That doesn't seem like it'd be that big a deal.
I'm sure it is.
Until you get to the 2 of the rooms. That one. I'm not sure if it's impossible, but the hitboxes are already dodgy, so it may be. And this one's similar to the first one. Your jump
Just
is
can't
impossible.
make that jump, okay.
The room name's a big troll there. This one's funny. He changes all the level titles to make fun of art-type games. So yeah, apparently we weren't the only ones who kind of rolled our eyes at some of the level titles in games like you have to win the game. The music's pretty fun at this speed.
God, of course. Oh no. That's like old computer sounds. That's not really... I could see how it would get annoying after a while, but... there are worse sounds to hear.
Well, sure, but there are better ones too. Ooh, interesting.
That is so weird.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's the one I got. The first time I played this game, I thought that the lava was deadly, so I kept trying to make the long jump before I saw the small platform.
Symbolic, he has to bathe in the blood before he can proceed on his self-discovery.
Oh God.
I hate nothing more in a game than just lag like that.
Can you imagine if you downloaded this indie game made of pixels
And that's what you got.
it was running like that, yeah. Oh, watch this. Every time you die, look how long it takes.
It's not even an interesting death. It's just like it just prolongs it.
Right.
Yep. Yeah,
And you
he's,
die a lot your first time through.
he's literally just trolling you.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, this is the last one here. Kind of speaks for itself, I think. It does make some parts of the game a bit harder. Yeah, like right here. Had a little bit of trouble there. But yeah, you can jump over the knife now, and nothing happens. You just go back to that room. So there you go. That's Dungeon.
It's an interesting idea to add those variables into it. It's very unfortunate if you end up being one of the people who get the really bad ones.
As an ignorant download, I think the worst one is the first jump being impossible.
I really feel like you should probably have a little bit more substance to the game itself, too, to kind of make it worth it.
He made it for Ludum Dare, which is sort of like a 48-hour film festival for games.
Okay.
You have a weekend to program a game from scratch.
Gotcha.
And they give you different themes to work under. This one was comedy and tragedy, I think. This was back in November of 2009. And yeah, this is what he came out with. And then he put it on this forum where obviously its intent was to rise up a community.
I kind of like the idea of telling the story through the text on the top, but otherwise it is what it is. That is about as old school of a game as you can get.
Well, it's about as stripped down as you can get, I think.
Yeah.
You know, short of not even having enemies, just having jumping puzzles, or puzzle is such a strong term.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd say that.
No, I like the retro look of it. I mean, I was like, because I was like right at the age I was playing video games, was that early C64 stuff. That was my first, where I cut my teeth on video games, really.
Yeah. So, it's the easiest to bang something out real quick with that, too.
Right.
So you'd probably like the Ludum Dare stuff. Check that out. You might be into that, because there's a lot of those kind of things. Pony Island was a product of that. MechPixel was a product of that.
Oh,
quite, yeah. I mean,
your favorite.
The good, the evil, yes. MechPixel.
I wasn't on that one, but I actually had played that game before, so I was actually kind of pleased to see you guys play that one.
Oh, okay. Sadist, you were pleased, huh?
I kind of I didn't mind it as much, but then again, I played it in shorter bursts than trying to beat it all at once.
Oh god, I should not have done that. That was the worst marathon you can do.
Shove it up the dude's ass.
This
is it. Sorry, this is the MechPixel game review.
MechPixel.
We won't go there again. So this game, Dungeon.
Dungeon.
Yes, the game that we came to talk about. The game is just so basic, and then it seems odd to the way they handled it. And obviously, if you only have 48 hours to make a game, you don't have time to brainstorm them all, other than let's make the spikes a pixel bigger, or let's make this jump impossible.
I mean, the big disappointment for me was that I just happened to luck into having the one where it doesn't change the game whatsoever. It was such a specialized aim that they had with what they were trying to accomplish with this. I kind of can't judge it as a standalone game in that way, since it's more of an experiment in how to manipulate arguments, I guess.
Well, did you get this on Steam?
No. I downloaded it off of the forum.
Okay, so so you went to the specific
that
website.
It was targeting, I guess.
Because I was gonna say, like, if you were to like pay for this game.
Oh no, there's no way that they knew what they were making. There's no way they'd ever charge for it. Because
I don't know if it would be worse to like spend a couple bucks on this and then either get something like you got where it's just a couple rooms reversed and it barely makes a difference, or worse yet, get like the lag one, and then you really feel betrayed, That'd be
a bold move.
Yeah. But I think, it's an interesting spin on the sort of meta aspects, like, where games like Undertale and things like that, where they end up kind of reading your save files or manipulating your save files.
Yeah, this kind of goes beyond that, because it depends on social interactions. For its intended effect to happen. If I just play the game in my own bubble, and that'll be the end of it.
Yeah.
There's a much, I hesitate to say deeper goal in mind here, but it kind of is, in that it's something that's dependent on variables that are outside of their control. Mm-hmm. And that it succeeded, even to just, 8 pages of a forum, even to that level, that's really kind of impressive in itself.
Yeah, it's an interesting idea. There's just not ultimately a whole lot to it. I think the concept is more interesting than the actual game itself.
So anybody watching, if you want to play it for yourself, you've kind of seen everything that it has to offer just here, but if you just want to play it and experience
find out which one of the 14 or 15 options you get. Right?
Yeah, just that alone, that would be kind of worth the download there. Anyway, if you want to play it, I've got a link in the video description. So you can go to the forum and download all 3 of the files there, Dungeon, and then Debugged Dungeon, and then Clarity, and have it on your very own computer with its very own circumstances. And you can also read the forum thread and see a bunch of strangers that you never met arguing and getting mad at each other about a game that's designed to make them get mad. No, it's like literally people are saying, you know, what the fuck is wrong with you? That first jump is the easiest jump. I just made it 20 times. Here's a YouTube video of me doing it. You fucking suck.
Wow.
I can see, like, I mean, that especially if you don't know that going in, that's an interesting way to handle a game. I kind of wish it was just done in a more interesting way, is my kind of final thought.
Read the forum thread. I think that makes the whole thing a little bit more interesting. How much people own their particular experience and get so defensive about it as if it's, you know, their child or something they made. You know, that's just really interesting in a slightly disgusting way.
It's a social experiment far more than a game.
Exactly. And it's really neat too to see within, I think, less than 48 hours of putting the game up on the forum, some people had figured out not only the concept of it, but the mechanics of it as well.
That's impressive.
I guess it's the whole hive mind idea. I mean, it's like, it kind of makes me think of like PT, where, you know, they thought that was going to take a long time for people to decipher that. No, people figured it out in the first day.
Right. Kind of gives you hope. Maybe. And then you read the rest of the comments of people talking about how stupid they are. And so it's like, no, it all balances out in the end, doesn't it?
Some of us are better. I don't know.
Just saying that makes you worse. Well, there's worse things that could happen, I guess.
Yeah.
And it's okay, because they will one day.
That's right.
Yep.
We're all just trying to cling on to this spinning rock in the middle of space.
Right. The sun hurtling ever closer to when it becomes supernova and eats us.
That's right.
It's gonna win. The sun's gonna win.
I think we'll be dead before then.
You don't know that.
Till then, yeah, it could
right.
happen.
All right. We're going to live forever? All
yeah.
right.
Anyway, Dungeon. Let's talk about Dungeon. So the room with the 3 spikes on the floor. I died for like, my goodness, what was it? 7 or 8 minutes straight in that room.
Oh God.
Before I finally mastered the jump. And I mean, that'll get you to master it.
Because I'd be like, rage quit.
But see, he puts it deep enough into the game where you're already invested.
You don't know how deep into the game you are.
Well, no, you're deep enough that you've been playing it for a while. I mean, yeah, it's a 3-minute game in this video, but it took me about 25 minutes the first time through, I think.
Never underestimate my ability to quit a game.
Oh, I know. You hate video games, I know.
I was at the final boss of Suikoden, and I'm like, I'm going to do this one more time. And if I don't get it, I don't give a shit anymore.
You hate video games more than any person who loves video games that I've ever met.
For somebody who has had so many of them, you really do seem to have an intense hatred.
We have a difficult relationship.
It's an abusive relationship, I think.
Right.
Oh.
Yeah, self-flagellation was too weird, so I couldn't find a place to hang the scourge, but I know where I can put this PlayStation. All right, I think we're done talking about Dungeon.
I think so. I think we were done probably about
half an hour ago.
Yeah.